Hey folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Moon Knight, issue 12 by Marvel Comics. Now there are fights, a monster, some fucking creepy eyes, teeth, some wacky ass powers, and weird ass medication that turns people into monsters. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, so as always, the list of names will be up here on screen right now. I don't remember who did what. Let me just quickly have a look, see if I recognize someone. Gotta be delicate with this one, it's a bit old. Okay, oh yeah, Bill Sienkiewicz did the art. He's one of the few I recognized in here. So that was my first time seeing his art in a comic, I think. I don't know if I read another comic with his art in it. Maybe I didn't, I don't recall. Alright, so this is from the original Moon Knight series, the first one. I think Andrew told me it was like about 38 issues, something like that. And I've recently been able to acquire a few issues of that run. So this is my first time ever reading the old Moon Knight. I have so far read 2 volumes of the modern Moon Knight. So this was my first oldie. Alright, so let's get to the story. So we have here, we start with a man called Peter, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his surname, I'm pretty sure I got it wrong in my head. But anyway, Peter is the brother of Moon Knight's girlfriend, maybe? I think she's his girlfriend. Her name is Marlene. I think, Marlene. So Peter is her brother. I'm pretty sure that's Moon Knight's girlfriend. Don't think she's just a friend because she's living with him in his mansion. Okay, yes. So we begin the story with Peter sitting and looking at 2 photos of a man called what was his name? Who Morpheus used to be? Was it Mark? Anyway, I'll leave his name up here on screen. I think his first name might have been Mark. You know me, I suck at remembering names easily. Yes, he's looking at a photo of Mark, closer to the end of 1 month, and then in already a few days into the next month. And at first he looks completely normal, completely human. And then in the second photo, he looks like this. I'll get to that later, how he looks in more detail when I show you pages. But yes, he has now become a monster, and it looks like it's Peter's fault. So Morpheus had some rare genetic condition, and he signed off a paper to have Peter give him some experimental medication, which instead of helping or doing anything, made it looks like far worse, as you can see. I'm not. Maybe in the previous issue, numbered 11, it shows that. I'm not sure. I don't even know how the whole Moon Knight series went along. But yes, now he's this. So Peter is sitting there and he can't believe it. He's sitting, ethics be damned, he's planning to call the police to report that Morpheus is missing. Man, was his name Mark? I think his first name might have been Mark. Fuck. It'll be on screen, what I said. Right, so as he's about to call, he's already on with the operator. Down below where his office is, we see someone in a coat and a hat approaching, and that's Morpheus. Now, Morpheus has these powers because he can't sleep and he can't dream, so all that energy builds up during the day, and now it's tangible, and he can use it to. He can also make people go into sleep, even eternal sleep. And he can make the energy tangible and use it for all sorts of things, like just sort of like like make a rope and I don't know, get up on a building, things like that. So he goes into where Peter's office is. The door's locked, obviously, below the building, but he breaks it with his powers. He goes in, and just as Peter's on the phone about to say his real name, Morpheus' real name, Morpheus bursts through the door, and and Peter, of course, recognizes him. You can see how he looks. And Peter is shocked. Now, Morpheus is there for revenge. He blames Peter for what happened to him. Sorry. But Peter's like, but you signed the paper, and he said, yes, I signed it to get cured, not to become a monster. I don't know what to say in this case. I haven't read the before. Maybe it goes into more detail. I think Peter should be accountable somewhat for this. I mean, using an experimental drug after all. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe he extensively warned Morpheus that this might turn bad. Anyway, Morpheus starts using his powers. He's choking Peter. He wants to put him in an eternal sleep as well. And he's just about to do that, but no. The thing is, when Morpheus came in, Peter dropped the receiver. And the operator's, still talking. She's like, hello? So the operator sends cops to him. And the cops disrupt disrupt Morpheus' attempt to kill Peter. He's almost out of power, out of juice, so he has to leave, and he doesn't finish the job. He uses the remainder of his power to jump from the window and make some vines. Anyway, then we move on to Moon Knight. He's back from somewhere to his mansion, and Marlene runs to him. Steven, she tells him, quick, my brother's in the hospital, we have to go. And Moon Knight's like, okay, let me just change into Stephen Grant and we'll go. And we will go. So they arrive at the hospital, the nurse doesn't want to let them in. But Marlene's like, I'm his sister, I'm his only remaining family. So the nurse says, all right, just for a few minutes. He's been already questioned a lot by the police. They go in and see him. Peter's a bit rumbling, but it tells them the same thing he told the police about Morpheus. And then he falls back, and he's now in a deep slumber. They call the doctor, but there's nothing they can do. He's now in a coma. Marlene is obviously devastated. They are told to go home. And just as Moon Knight or Steven escorts her out, they go to the door. They hear a commotion and shooting. Morpheus has arrived at the hospital to finish the job on Peter. Moon Knight, he tells Marlene to stay inside and not to go out on the street in any case, don't go out. He starts mid-running to change into his Moon Knight costume. And outside, Morpheus is using his power on the police cars, destroying them. And just as he's about to start using it to destroy the cops themselves, Moon Knight appears. But Morpheus whoops Moon Knight's ass in their first fight. Because, with all those powers of his. Interesting, wouldn't Kuncha intervene and give his charge some powers from the Egyptian godliness of his? I don't know. I've never read the originals. I don't know how this even starts. what powers he's given. Well, yes, they whoops him, but once again, he has to leave. Morpheus has to go because he's again almost out of juice. So he runs off because the police also brought reinforcements. Marlene runs out and asks Steven if he's alright. She even says Steven. I'm like, should you be calling him by one of his personalities while he's, outside in front of people? Okay, never mind. I guess no one paid attention. Oh yeah, there's a moment while they're fighting where the crowd's like, he's gonna kill Moon Knight. And I love Moon Knight's reaction to this. How can I be okay, Marlene? I've been defeated like an amateur. And it's just so funny. It's like, this is what worries him. I found it hilarious. Anyway, he tells Stephanie to go back to the mansion. I mean, she goes and and Moon Knight goes to find, they need to find information about Morpheus so you can know how to defeat him. So we go back to Peter's office where Detective Flint is. I think it was in the 2 volumes that I read as well. So he's sitting there, I like him here. He's also very funny. So he's sitting there, going through Peter's papers of, I guess, what he wrote about this cure that he gave Morpheus. I keep wanting to say Morbius. Well, I guess the premise might be a little similar. Except old Morpheus here looks like someone combined... Oh no, you know what? It looks like the love child of Nosferatu and the Fly. Yeah, and the human fly. Yeah, that would be pretty accurate. Maybe sprinkled in a bit with some Swamp Thing. No, not Swamp Thing. Man Thing. Yeah. Just a dash there. Where was I? I got distracted. Right, so the Detective Flint. Right, I was on Detective Flint. So yes, he's sitting there looking through the cure papers. He's like, this is something like out of an Asimov book. All the science fiction. I haven't read any since I was a kid. And then Moon Knight swoops in on the wind. This one killed me. He says, I have to read it to you. I just love this line. It was so great. Just a second. I have to read this one too. It's just too funny. Come on, where is it? Just a second. Okay, there it is. He says, and in drops chapter 2, Riding the Wind, the Mysterious Moon Knight. I don't know why, but I fucking love that. It's like, speaking of weird and science fiction, here's Moon Knight. I don't know, it might be stupid, but I just fucking love that. Alright. So, they start talking. Detective Flint looks like a very good detective. He's very to the point. He's like, yeah, some cops don't like me sharing information with you, Moon Knight. But, if we join forces, it'll be much more effective. So, Detective Flint, he tells him, we'll just work together and pretend my coffee's been drugged. So as he's putting some sugar in his coffee, he goes over things with Moon Knight about Morpheus. From 1 to 5, answering Moon Knight's questions while Moon Knight's in the background looking for some folders. Then at the end, we'll have to keep looking. So Moon Knight's about to go, and he says, like you said, Flint, we just have to keep looking, and he jumps out the window. And Flint says, night, Moon Knight. Have sweet dreams. Moon Knight goes back to the mansion. Um, Marlene runs out again to him, tells him, oh no, Peter's not waking up. He's my only family, and I haven't even thought about him. I don't know what's the relationship between these two. She does say that he's her only remaining family, but I don't know, maybe they're not that close. Anyway, she's like, Moon Knight promised me you'll defeat Morpheus and help my brother. And Moon Knight says, I'll do my best. Then we move on to Morpheus. He's in an apartment somewhere. He can't sleep again. So he's just sitting there waiting for his powers to replenish during the day. He's walking around, all that energy's building up in him until right before dawn. So I wonder if his mental state also went a bit, because he can't sleep, and when he confronts Peter in the beginning, he does tell him, do you know what a nightmare this is? So I don't know, maybe he goes crazier and crazier as the days go by. I don't know. Maybe he's starting to have a god complex. He's like, I'm the god of night, of dreams. Anyway, he makes an observation that if he waits a week, because his power just keeps getting stronger and stronger, he'll be able to destroy the whole hospital and the cops around. But until then, he's going to go out and build himself a palace. At that moment, I was like, is he going to use his powers for that? I don't know why I thought that. But no, he's going to rob a bank and then finance building him a palace. Somewhere. Don't know where he thought he'd go live, though. But it doesn't matter, as he's, using his powers to make a hole to blow up the bank wall. Moon Knight is in his helicopter with Frenchie, the guy that helps him. Tells him, alright, Frenchie, go back to the mansion. He swoops down. So Moon Knight devised, one and only plan. So he goes down, before that, they had another altercation. Wait, when was that? Where he met him? Shit. Where did he meet him again? Oh, what's happening? He met him somewhere else. What was their second altercation together? Fuck, how did I forget? Bear with me. Because they had their second strike. And I guess that was, anyway, he says, I won't have a third strike with this monster. So, so Moon Knight swoops down. And it looks like when Morpheus is, not concentrating on using his powers to defend himself, they don't work. I mean, he is vulnerable to an attack. As Moon Knight manages to attack him one time, but then Morpheus uses his powers again, and slams him into a wall. Oh yeah, that was the second time. It's like, I've been whooped again. But a third one won't happen. Then Morpheus starts to run. Moon Knight's running after him, and he's running into a park zoo. As he's going after him, he's wondering, where can I, do my ploy, my plan? Then Morpheus uses his powers to hit, and Moon Knight's wondering, how did he miss me by that much? But he was aiming at a cage with a panther. A panther jumps out at Moon Knight and starts attacking him. Well, it's like, shit, Morpheus' powers made the panther go nuts. So while he's fighting with the big kitty, Morpheus stops, like, why am I running? I was wondering the same thing. I mean, you can finish him, right? Just go back. Well, at least he thought about it in time, right? So he goes back. Moon Knight sees that he's coming, he's about to shoot him. Because when he shoots you, your body becomes numb and tired. Then Moon Knight just grabs the big panther and like poof, throws it. Moon Knight's on his back and just with his legs and arms he throws him up, and the poor kitty gets the blast. Ah, poor kitty. Well, at least he's alive. Just he's gonna be asleep for a few hours. Then Moon Knight notices he's on the ground. Morpheus is coming towards him, but then he notices, like a bit further away, there's a generator on the zoo carer's building. So he's like, "Oh, I can use this for my plan." So he starts running towards there with some strength from inside because his body's numb and tired, and he manages to get there. And as Morpheus approaches him, he starts to pretend to beg for an easy death from Morpheus. I can't fight you anymore. Morpheus shoots him with his powers very well, but just at the last second, Moon Knight jumps up. Morpheus's power hits the generator and then goes back right at him into his big, massive bug eyeballs. And he loses his powers. I think, though, it's only temporarily. Might not be a permanent thing. And Moon Knight's like, "Oh, that's a shame," and then punches him right square in the face. Oh, it was great. He kind of rips the bottom part of his mask, too, Morpheus. So that's it. I love how Moon Knight says there, "If anyone ever needed their beauty rest." And as I was reading, I was like, yeah, this guy's fuck ugly. He needs all the beauty rest he can get. So the police arrive at the zoo park. They're grabbing Morpheus. Flint is like, "You're a good man, Moon Knight, but you should split, because then I'll have to ask you questions, and I don't like questions." No, not I don't like questions. He says something, "I don't like the answers that come from those questions." Moon Knight smirking like, "See ya." Oh, and I also love this part. He tells Flint, Detective Flint, "Make sure you hang a do not disturb sign on this guy's door." Oh man, I love the humor in this. So that's it. Next we see Morpheus is in the psychiatric ward in a prison. Flint is talking to one of the doctors there, and the doctor asks, how long do we have to keep him sedated? So he's going to be sedated now every night for 8 hours, forever. Or unless, they find a cure for him. So yeah. Just in a way, poor Morpheus. Never be able to sleep, looking like that. What are you gonna do? Maybe the good scientists will be able to find a cure for him. We don't know. Anyway, we go back to the... that's it. We go back to the hospital. I think it was 6 days later. Yeah, 6 days later. Marlene is sitting with with Moon Knight in the hospital. And after those 6 days, finally Peter awakes. And Marlene is very happy. And all ends that ends well. And that's it. Next, Daredevil. So I guess issue 13 features Daredevil. That's fucking awesome. Alright, let's get to the art before the conclusion. Again, I have to be careful here. This is a delicate one. So there's Morpheus in all his glory. At least his face, that's Peter over there. Quite a handsome guy. Yeah, so as you can see... face only a mother could love. And you see what I mean? Like, the nose is kind of like Man-Thing. And the face is Nosferatu. And then those eyes look like a bug's eyes. Oh, and this is what he used to... Oh, there we go. That's his name. Sorry, I was wrong. His name is Robert Markham. Yeah, Markham. That's why I remembered Mark. So you see, this used to be him before. Quite a handsome gentleman. And then we have this. Ooh, that's rough. It's like plastic surgery gone super wrong. And I'll show you Marlene. I really dig Mr. Sienkiewicz's art in this. It's very, very nice. I love how Moon Knight looks in a lot of parts in this. There we go, that's Marlene. Or Marlene. There she is. And that's Detective Flint. Later on, he's not blonde in the modern version. And there we go, he flies in the window. Alright, show you just another one and that's it, because sweaty fingers. I don't want to ruin the comic. Just a second. Oh, this is where he hits him on the head, that's funny. There we go. Alright, I'll put this down now. In just a second. Yeah, just a moment. Let me move this a little bit. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, that was the art. Art looks good. I dig it. And, alright. Oh, sorry. Now for the conclusion. So the conclusion, I love this. This was awesome. I love the story, I dug the art, and I love the jokes they had in there. I didn't expect these, but I do know some of this first run of Moon Knight. They have some funny parts. This comic, I found out there's this one panel you see online of Moon Knight telling Dracula, going down this tomb, I think, and saying, "Dracula, you big fucking nerd, where's my money?" I finally found out what comic that is. And this is how the first run is. I hope I get to collect all of it one day. I want to read this. This is funny. And cool, too. And I want to know how it, originally was with his powers, too. And how he met Kuncha. And everything. Because I have the modern ones, but I want to get to the original ones. Yeah, so this was great. There's also a nice cover. I like some purple. I am a bit disappointed they didn't have Morpheus's eyes like they are inside. That was way scarier. I mean, this is good too, but I like the inside better. But yeah, this was great. I enjoyed this a lot. I have a few more, like 2 more issues of the old Moon Knight I can read, so I'm excited to get to those. This was great. This was really great. I look forward to more Moon Knight reading in the future. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know, have you read the series? What did you think about it? What do you think about the original Moon Knight? Did you enjoy it? And that is it. Till next time, remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!